budgie, then the politicians brought out all their big guns to decide what we as a service were going to do, and it certainly wasn't up to the managers.
Just before I say, personal experience, I don't know if you heard it, I did a debate with the head of the council on Lincolnshire Radio, and it is the single most unresponsive human being I've ever come across. I really felt like I was going to get calluses from headbutting the table. It was really, I asked the same question 6 times and got the same reply every time, and it wasn't an answer to what I asked, and that's very frustrating. One more little question on this, and then I'm going to ask everybody to sum up on a question I'm going to ask.
I live in a local authority that the entire council budget has been cut by a third, and we're still going to have to cut by another third. Under those circumstances, firstly, do you really think that councils would be cutting libraries if they didn't have these financial constraints? Is it just purely down to a local policy decision? And sorry, I got the other bit of my question, but yeah. I mean, related to that, I mean, how, as Martin said, how can you expect local councillors to make to devolve decisions to local authorities when they're faced with that kind of budget cuts?
Right, thanks. Now, I'm going to include replies to that in the final question, and this is for all the panellists. What should a public library service look like in 10 years' time? This is to sum up the whole debate. And what 3 points in a sentence each would they say are the 3 central points? Okay, or 2, or even if you want to keep it pithy, 1, but no more than 3. And to give you an indication, mine, would be minimum standards, a paid librarian minimum in every library, and define comprehensive and efficient services, and probably give us the money. Right, so I'm going to start with Helen, then Justin, then Martin, 2 minutes each to sum up the whole debate. What is your vision for the public library service in 10 years' time? How many branches will be open, for example?
My vision is that every library service has a core offer comprising books, information, digital inclusion, health and well-being. My vision is that every library authority has professional staff. My vision is that we have a national strategy in which we share best practice and agree common standards so that we can have a shared view of what a good library service is. I think the most important thing that we need to remind people outside this room is that we're trying to have a modern knowledge-based economy and society. And I think we just need to keep banging on about this, because at the moment people think libraries are the past, but what we want to say is that libraries are the future.
Thank you. And in time, Justin.
Service is key, which means it has to be professionally led by professional staff, and we have to trust those who know those communities best of all. That the environment of the library facilities has to be prioritised, which is, as I said at the beginning, means we should be better at using Section 106 money, which is the money that you get from a developer as development comes forward. All too often in local authorities, they do not consider libraries to have a share of that money to modernise the furniture and the facilities that are available, and to continuously look at that figure of 7.5% of the library budget being all that is spent on the stock, whether that is paper, digital, or whatever other opportunities or challenges are in the future. The priority has to be frontline.
Well done. And in time, Martin.
All right, my vision is what I started with. A social space where the services that are offered, library and other services, all affect the quality of the life of the people who live around it. And issues such as personal freedom, social equity, health, happiness and human fulfillment, all coming out of that. We're losing those spaces. We had a consultation in Brent recently about the way forward for Brent in the future, and people talked about the amazing diverse community that we have, but where different bits of it don't communicate with each other. And because of increasing privatisation of public spaces, there isn't anywhere. We talked about parks, we talked about libraries, we talked about places that were free and accessible to all. I'd like it to be within walking distance for every 11 and 12-year-old, so they could go there without their parents having to come with them. I would hope that would help the children who don't have computers and things at home to do their research and so on, often required by schools now on the internet, and not be put at a disadvantage. That's what I'd like to see in the future, and it's something that we can all be proud of. At the moment, I can tell by all of you that, as librarians and workers in libraries, you're actually feeling, sort of done over and done down. And you should be sitting there proud of what you're offering and seeing how much it contributes to society.
Thank you. And we're going to have 5 minutes a moment from Gary Green on the library A to Z before we break. I would like to say, I think these politicians have actually been pretty well behaved and have answered reasonably forthrightly and within time. And I think the politicians should admit this is one of the most knowledgeable audiences, I think. You're speaking. So I think everybody should give everybody a big clap. Gary, will you come to the front, please? Gary just spends 5 minutes. It's in your pack explaining the library A to Z. Then we'll repair downstairs for a brew. And some of you people will have a coffee, but
Okay.